All right, we are at 13 Keys Tattoos in Brimfield, Ohio. You can probably see my breath. It's December 2022, and we are here to meet the artist here, and we'll be talking with Andy.
Hello.
And with Kylie, and we're probably going to connect with Justin on the inside too, but Brimfield.
Yes,
So for those folks who are not from this area, Brimfield is near where?
It is more near Kent, Ravenna.
Kent, Ravenna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and 13 Keys Tattoos has been around for how many years?
We actually opened in July.
In July.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I love this location. Let's head on in. So we are at 4072. This is Brimfield.
Yes, sir.
Brimfield Plaza. Is that where
Absolutely.
I always, there's something about tattoo. Is a tattoo shop? Is that the right way? What is a tattoo?
You can do tattoo shop, tattoo studio, art gallery.
Art gallery. Because I think that folks who do not spend much time, in a tattoo shop gallery might not realize that. This is a place for artists. Take us back.
Absolutely. So we have, starting since we're kind of new, we're trying to get our walls filled in. Get everything built up from the ground up. Justin has been amazing as an owner, a boss. He's absolutely wonderful, and he's put all his time and everything he's wanted. To even us younger artists, he's brought us up, and he wants an art gallery here. We're still building it up. This gentleman is Corey Holiday. I want to say this is all his work, and he is also local. Just somebody who worked side by side with Justin in school.
This is some great work.
Thank you. And Corey's amazing to us. He's good to us. He's good to Justin. We go back here. We got a break room and everything, so we can do our thing. All our supplies. So I want to say Justin, he's been building this for a long time, and he's been so great about it. He had a dream, he wanted it to happen, and he made it happen, and that's the biggest thing, And me following under his footsteps as a young kid, that's what, he's inspired me. He's made me want to move the extra mile. I want to say
He's been a mentor and influence in your life, right?
He's one of the greatest people I could say in my life.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I had met Justin on the way in, and great first impression. And what I love about it is that as Justin is kind of poured into your career and probably you as a person, you're also pouring into Kylie, which is kind of fun because we weren't really planning on including her, but it is great that she's part of it as well.
I love seeing it, younger artists, growing, they're growing and they're sitting there showing the next stage of artists who are coming, how much better, and we want to build these up over time. You got your restroom here and everything,
Yeah, and
art is our big goal.
Wait a minute, is this you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where did this come from?
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That started out as a joke, actually. That was a competitor poster me and Justin had done years ago at a shop we worked at. We said, all right, we're going to compete for tattoos. Who's going to do the better tattoo? So we threw a big tattoo party, I want to say, at the shop. We had a bunch of people come in and vote. And we're like, who's the better of the two? Because me and him, we love being competitive. We love growing.
Yeah.
And, he's always even pushed me to grow. Hey, grow higher, higher. Higher expectations. And, he's always pushed me that extra mile.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him, is he's never gave up on anyone. I'm there, and he's always kept me going.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna jump in, and for those folks who are watching this live, feel free to shoot some questions out, right? Because we're gonna participate live, and even if you're gonna watch the recorded session, feel free to throw a question out. I'm sure there's going to be some questions for Kylie, who will, for other folks to say, listen, I'm kind of interested in taking on an apprenticeship and maybe, taking those first steps. And there's going to be some questions I think that are going to be specific for you. And then there's going to be a bunch of folks going to have some questions for Andy as well to say, you know, tell me about this. Tell me about piercing. Tell me about, you know, tattoos. Tell me about neck tattoos. You know, give you some, maybe for you to give some good sage advice, you know, along the way too. And if we can catch Justin, you know, we'll talk to the person who is, you know, ahead on the trail, right?
Yeah,
than you are
creator.
the creator. So this is great. We're going to just take a quick peek at the artwork here, and certainly an art gallery. Now this is and again, what is the story behind 13 Keys
13
Tattoos?
Keys is me and Justin were actually talking. I want to say last year we were talking about, hey, what's a good shop name? You know, what would it be? And you know, Justin had come up with. Justin's like, 13 keys, this is what I want my shop. Well, why do you want it to be 13 keys? What's the story? He says, nobody has that shop name. I want something original, something nobody in the world has. And he did many hours of research looking up who has this name, how many tattoo shops are named this. Because you know, you go to this shop or this shop, how many shops are named this? And he said, I want something, my name, original, and I want it to be us, you know.
You'll create the story behind it as well. I'm going to look back here because not only is it a unique name, but your mark, your logo is really memorable here as well.
And I even want to give a shout out for this logo here made.
Yeah.
This was made by Jake Davis.
I'm going to shoot over your shoulder here.
Jake Davis was actually a partner of Justin's back when he was tattooing in Kent. And this gentleman had sent it up from Florida and said, here you go, Justin, as in, you know, opening the shop, congratulations. And, you know, he made that happen for him. He sent it up, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it certainly does. We're going to sit down here. Is this kind of your station?
Yes, this is my station.
So, again, for those folks who are joining us, Tuesday at 7, if you're new to Tuesday at 7, what we do is we gather together on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We just have conversations. We gather inspiration. We check out people's stories, and we want to kind of inspire each other. And we already have a bunch of folks jumping on. And Katie, we see you, and Joey and Annie. We appreciate you joining us. Feel free to go ahead and shoot out questions. I'm going to come sit down for a bit, but I'm going to circle back and take a look at who's watching. And the last interview we interviewed Craig, and Craig is a poet and an artist. And this thing looks really low, but it is the right height. But Craig shared with us his backstory, something about his poetry and his other art as an actor and as an effects artist. And if you watched that interview and you shared that interview, then your name is in this hat. And the name that is chosen is going to win a framed piece of writing and poetry of his, as well as it's kind of a skull head that he created as well.
That's wonderful.
Who's going to pull the winner?
Would you like to pull it?
Just one.
Sure.
Just one. And the winner,
Valentine Slasher.
Valentine Slasher.
Right.
All right, we appreciate you sharing. I'm going to put this in my pocket here, and we're going to jump in here. However, if you guys share this interview, in the bottom, I think it's the bottom left hand of your screen, there's a share button. And when you hit that share button, it's going to ask you, do you want to share it to your friends list? We appreciate those shares. Share it to a group. Or you could even kind of snipe this into specific folks. You can, send it to an individual, somebody who might be an illustrator or inspired, or somebody who's thinking of, taking a look at, tattoo artists, or maybe think about going into it. But when you share, we know it, and we're going to put your name in the drawing next week. And so, you're gonna tell us what if your name is pulled next week.
So I'm giving an original copy of The Terrifier, as in I got the inspiration off Terrifier 2. My favorite scene was the sunglasses, and I love the utensils he used for this movie. This is completely original. No prints have ever been made of this, and this is just...
And it's signed too.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely one of my favorite prints.
Gotcha. So if you share, we're going to put your name in a drawing, and if your name is drawn next week, we're going to go ahead and send this to you. So we appreciate that. And we're going to pull this back out for people who are not joining us right now, and we'll remind them. Where did this whole tattoo direction in your life start?
It started when I was about 3 years old. I want to say I started seeing my mom get tattooed at a local shop here in the area. And one of the mentors I actually worked for. And you know, I'd seen tattooing, and I loved tattooing. I loved drawing when I was younger, and I thought it was so cool. I'm like, that's what I want to do with my life. And I've said that ever since I was a young kid. Kind of did I get misdirected? Yes, I went to music. You know, I was trying to write a lot of music, trying to get bands together, and I went back to the direction about 16. I was like, I want to be an artist, and I want to complete what I started when I was a kid. And, you know, and it's truly, I want to say, I followed a childhood dream. I truly followed my dreams and did what I wanted with my life. And there's not a minute I don't wake up and say, ugh, this job. You know, every day is just my job. You know, I get to go to work. You know, it's something I look forward to every day. You know, and I can honestly say dreams do come true if you put your mind to it and you put the time and the sweat, blood, and tears is what they say. You'd be everything you wanted in life. And that's a lot of things that people misunderstand, you know.
We were back in you know, the gallery on the first as we were kind of circling in, and there's some phenomenal illustration there, right? But what you're doing is just not illustration, right? It's personalized. It's something that somebody wears. Tell us about that. I mean, that's probably a bit of responsibility.
It does. It's almost as a, I want to say you kind of get nervous each tattoo. And I'm not saying that nervous like you want to go in, you wake up every morning, you don't say, oh, you know, you think on these tattoos every single morning, you're like, this is somebody's life. Yeah. You know, you got to put your life into their life and make sure they want to wear this for the rest of their life. So, you know, at a time you kind of get, I want to say, nervous sometimes. You know, it really is a responsibility. I think if they're coming in, you know, they're putting their life on the line to you. And when I say life is, they got to wear what you give them. And you always want to make sure, as your responsibility as an artist is, I can achieve this, make this happen, and, you know, make them proud of something they can wear for the rest of their lives, because they're walking around with you for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Kelly, what do you think about that? Right? Because you're on the front end. You're like, oh, I've got is this a machine? Is it a tattoo machine? Is that the correct
machine?
Tattoo machine, and you're sitting down in front of, you know, some skin, or that is some responsibility.
Yeah,
Tell me somebody on the front end.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. When you come in and, you know, you have to make a decision, because some people might come in with an idea and they could give you all the money in the world. It could be the worst idea and it might ruin their life. Maybe they have no tattoos, they have a business job, and they want to be tatted outside of their sleeves, on their neck, on their face, and you have to make that decision on if you're going to, you need that money. So are you going to take it and potentially kind of help this person ruin their life, or you can decide, hey, you know, maybe this isn't a great idea, maybe we should work on some other things, and maybe we can circle back to that idea after you've talked to your employer or things like that. Like, you genuinely do have to make a decision, because people wear it every day, and like for me, it's turned out great. I love all my pieces. They make me more confident as a person, and I'm proud to wear them, but it's not not everyone's as fortunate to have that experience. So it is a responsibility to make sure that you're doing something someone's going to be proud of, even if they isn't something they would have gotten at that time in their life, and also that it's something that isn't going to hinder their ability to live their life.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Note to self: do not tattoo your neck, your face, or your hands unless you know where you're going in life. And that is the biggest 3 things I can say. Granted, I was blessed with what I did with my life. Don't do it though. I tell people, Face, what's your story? I don't always give my story of why I did it, but it's, don't do it. That's my biggest thing. Don't do it. It ruins who you are. And
so I'm going to ask you a really direct question.
Yes, sir.
A really direct question, and that is, so as folks come in and you're coaching them, right, to, I would imagine, to tell their story, to stay away from hands and, neck and face. If you're tattooed on your neck and face, and that's an all-in decision, right? Mm-hmm. What was the rationale behind going there? I mean, probably because you decided at an early age you're going to be a tattoo artist. Is there any backstory?
So it started off.
Okay.
So I will tell you this story. It started off with my hands and my neck. It was more of a rebellious, piss my parents off stage.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that because I love my parents to death, but they were always no neck, hands, face, you know. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm 18. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe it wasn't the brightest decision. You know, maybe sometimes I should have listened. My face started a couple of years ago. You know, I had started getting a couple. I had just a couple. You know, kept my face clean. I was diagnosed with cancer, and then I had just really let loose. And, you know, at the same time, I would tell people, live your life the way you want, not what people will view you or, oh, this guy's a criminal. Because mine, I've never had a background of a criminal record, ever. And people look at you for 1 minute, you got to think, you know, even though you're doing what you want, people are still going to reflect on you when they look at you. And I've always been a firm believer, do what you want in life, you know. But do I advise it? No. I don't want to throw it off too topic, but I've always been a firm believer, whatever this person says, do what makes you happy in life. Because it's your life. People might say, that's stupid, man, but what might be great to you might not be great to the next guy. But you did your life the way you wanted to. And a lot of people want to grow up and, you know, go in this cycle as, I don't know, I always say Pink Floyd, The Wall. You know, you're kind of go through school, go through a job, you know, do this, do what's right by society, but what is right to do by what you want to do in life, you know? So many people are scared of what this person or this person's going to think, and, you know, I've learned as I've gotten older and I've matured youngly, I don't know if that's a word, but...
We know what you mean.
You know, you live your life. Forget what this person says or this person says, but I would advise people, don't do it. Don't do it, because if you don't have your life set and, you know, you're doing these decisions, how is it going to reflect on your life? Jobs. Because personally, me, I could never sit at another desk again, you know, sit at a desk and be a manager or something. And that's something people need to take in life, you know.
When you first put, you know, needle to skin, right, and you first started, you know, marking folks and telling their stories, that wasn't the first time that you picked up, right? Picked up art. I mean, so you started early, right? What was if you had to reflect back, like what was your love of art and how you
I started with like game cases. Like I remember I drew Fable when it first came out. I drew that. I loved reading books from the Grateful Dead my dad would give me. There was books, I don't remember the names, and I'd always seen the skull and stuff, and then he was Scully, I think, and the Grateful Dead bears, and he would show me that stuff. And, you know, I was like, I want to draw this on paper. And, you know, I'd always transfer it. I'd always be getting in trouble. Like, I want to say back here in field school, I'd always be sitting there, not listening to class, and I'd be drawing on paper, you know, getting in trouble. And, you know, if anything, my dad kind of gave me an image. He would see me drawing. He's like, I got this for you. Draw this, draw this, draw this, you know. Or my mom, draw this, you know. And it was much of a big inspiration to me growing up.
What about you, Kelly?
Yeah, my love of art started at a young age as well. I always, you know, art class was my favorite class when I was in school. I took a lot of art elective in high school. I didn't play any sports because my passion was with art. I spent all my free time doing that. As when I didn't have money to buy things for like my mom and dad, Mother's Day, birthdays, I would always draw them something, and you know they've saved all my artwork from them. But I think another thing too, growing up in the age of online, where I had access to like you know the internet at a young age, I could see all this amazing artwork from so many people from all over the world, and like slowly my love grew for it. Like my like for tattooing specifically, I would watch my uncle like tattoo my mom or my dad, and when I was really young, and I always looked up to him. And then as time went on, like I fell in love with it more. My dad was super supportive. He would take me to tattoo conventions, and we would go to museums and all kinds of stuff. So you know, as I was growing up, everyone was super supportive, and I fell in love with it.
You fell in love with it?
Yeah.
And I don't see Justin there.
I seen him. He disappeared.
He disappeared.
He just
well, and I wish that he was here because I loved it. And listen, I don't know whether you'd call like, apprentice, ship, kind of a generation, but it kind of feels like that, like, first generation Justin, to Andy, to Kylie, that you all have an effect on each other, right? And it's more than just art, right? What is it? So Justin, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to come over?
Yes, I'm coming over.
Yeah, tell me.
That's the man, I want to say the man, the myth, the legend, somebody who gave support through many generations of somebody who's a great tattooer, great mentor, and just a great friend.
Are you up to taking a seat? I know this is completely on the fly, and people love here. Sit down here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to. Yeah, go ahead. Sit down there, because three on this and 3 on the screen is just perfect. Plus, I can go ahead and kind of take a look at the comments as they come in too. So we were planning originally just to connect with Andy, but I love the fact that we have, like, I call it 3 generations of apprentice and mentors. Yeah.
Definitely 3 different stages.
So tell me, Andy, tell me what drew you to connect with Justin. Like, what's the backstory? How you guys found yourself?
This is gonna make you laugh. It's being true. I had joined in a shop. My mom had pushed when I was struggling to get in, and she's like, "Try this shop." Well, there's a gentleman there. He's one of the originals that I had known when I was young, and then I had met Justin. And he was kind of mean when I first met him, I was like, he's very self-centered in his corner. And then he came out and he really started to explain stuff and became just overall a great friend and a great mentor, taught me everything I know about
It took me some time to warm up to Andy.
Tell me how you feel. So did you guys just connect over, where did that first introduction occur?
It was through artwork.
Through artwork? Okay.
Yeah, I started watching what he was doing, and he was always watching me, and we kind of just clicked, and our personalities are pretty similar as well. We like to joke and have a good time, so yeah, we kind of hit it off.
Yeah. Justin, how long have you been working as a tattoo designer? I heard some.
A tattoo artist?
Yeah.
I've been in the industry professionally for over 15 years.
Okay.
I started getting into it before that, but once I got into shops, it's been about 15 years now.
Do you tell us about the plunge, right? So you go from an artist to a shop owner, right? That comes with a whole different leap of faith, right?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a leap.
Okay.
After this many years, you kind of progress as a tattoo artist, and you work your way up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain point, it was year 15 for me, so I was like, I think I'm ready to open my own shop and kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You did amazing, buddy.
it worked out.
You did amazing.
And I think that there's probably a lot that probably the art community could learn from the tattoo artists, right, and designers, and that is taking on an apprentice. Tell me that responsibility, right? Because listen, I'm an effects artist, right, and I do some other stuff, and I don't have an apprentice under me. I try to pass it on, but there's not a formality about it. Tell me about what that looks like or how that happens.
So Kylie is actually my first official apprentice.
Okay.
I was yours, but
Andy wasn't my official apprentice. I worked there, so we all kind of took him under our wing. But yeah, Kylie's my first one, so
You're passing it on.
that's it's different. You try to pass on the good things and keep the bad habits to yourself. And yeah, you kind of learn a lot about yourself as you're teaching somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a new experience, but we're doing good with it. So
Before you joined, Andy was giving some accolades. He's like that you've really been an important mentor in his life. Give us take us back there, Andy. A couple things why
It came from, somebody mentoring me, kind of just picking me up, somebody who's lifted me up, telling me, hey, you're messing up, get it together, pick me up, dust me off. Hey, try this, and he grew me as an artist. But outside of artistry, he's became like a best friend of mine. Obviously, we've been through some stuff together. Outside of work, he was my best man. Obviously, first failed marriage, but that's okay. First one's a runner-up.
And for anybody that's not familiar with this business, we've always called it the Widowmaker because you spend more time tattooing and in the shop and with your employees the same amount that you do with your family.
Yeah.
So you have to work with people that you get along with.
Yeah.
I'm with these two just as much as I am my wife and kids. So it's a hard job to take on, but
It really is. It's a lot, but he's given me some. I've followed him all through my years.
Yeah.
We split up from time apart, but there was never a time me and him didn't ever speak to each other. We always spoke. We'd always text each other. He'd say, "Hey, you could have did better on this," or "Hey, you did great," or we would give feedback to each other. Artists, everything you do is not going to be amazing. Grade A. That's just a lie in the industry. I'm this great tattooer. No, he would be the man who would tell me, "Hey, you slipped up here. You could have did better. You messed up here. You could have did this. And he's always been the one who kind of just kept it going in my head. Keep it going, keep it going. Justin's always been the one in my head. What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?
Yeah.
Even if we're
that's all part
miles,
of it. You always got to learn. You always got to grow.
Yeah.
miles and miles apart, he still has always been in my ear, and he's always been just a great mentor. Whatever he wants to consider himself, he was still my mentor, a great friend, and I'm honestly blessed to work with him.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
So, Kylie, you shared that you took a direct path, right, from your high school graduation right into the art field. Like, how do you get connected with these two dudes?
So it was a few months after I graduated, and this has always been my goal and my ambition was to pursue this. And I had looked around at some shops, and I had no luck. And I actually received a message from my mom, and she was like, "Hey, right by our house, there's a new place. Go check it out." So I came in, and I brought my portfolio with me, and I talked to them a little bit, and they said, "Okay, come back in a couple weeks and show us some new stuff because we're not quite ready for you," because they were still setting some things up, some things together. So I came back after 2 weeks, and they looked at some of the new stuff I had, and then they decided to hire me, which has been incredible. I got very fortunate to be put in the position where I am. Obviously, it was disappointing to be turned down or not even have your work looked at by a lot of people when you're going to apply for this kind of position, but I'm glad that those didn't work out and that I ended up here because especially too as a woman getting into the industry, I was very nervous about shop culture kind of being the way that it is, with it being a male-dominated industry, that I wouldn't be treated as an equal or treated correctly in general. So coming into this, they've both been amazing, super kind to me. We all work great together. I feel like we all feed off of each other in a positive way, and I was very fortunate to get connected with them.
Justin, what caught your eye about her to say, "Yeah, we're gonna bring you in"?
Her artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had a lot of drawings and paintings and stuff that, and she told us she had never tattooed before, but she wanted to. So, but looking at her artwork is an easy decision. We could definitely turn her into a tattoo artist. And I think she was just nervous. If she would have seen the Step Brothers picture in the back first, it would have made her a little bit easier about what she was getting into. But it worked out.
For somebody who's looking to step in, where do they start? Is it you gather a sketchbook? Is that portfolio to start pushing stuff out online? Where do you start?
Start with drawing.
Start drawing.
Yep, pencil and paper.
Yep.
If you can draw it, you can learn how to put it on skin. It's completely different, but it starts with art.
Because it always does start with two. There can be people that are amazing artists that I've seen who are amazing artists who can't tattoo to save their lives, and then when they go to, they can draw really good, or they can't draw, I should say, right? They can not draw but trace stuff, and they're like, okay, I'm a tattoo artist, and they can be good. It's a hard industry to understand. It's a very complex, very, what would you say, timid. You got to put a lot of work in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different elements to it, and it's really hard to just jump in and not sync. So
Yeah, yeah. In terms of, and I don't see like flash sheets out here. I see a bunch of artwork.
we don't have flash sheets.
Yeah.
We do draw our own flash from time to time, and we do have some custom designs you can look at and stuff. But most of the time, we just do custom. We take your ideas and try to put them on paper, and if we can figure it out, we'll put it on scan.
And so, as we were walking in, you had a client, and he said he was in here, and you were going to start to do some drawing up, some design of help him tell the story and create a sleeve. Like when somebody comes in, like what do they like? What do you do? How do you counsel somebody to say?
Well,
we can
just
help
like tonight, for example, he came in. I had the night planned to tattoo, but he came up with this idea, and it was way too in depth. It's going to take me a couple days of drawing to get it laid out correctly. So I got the night off, so here I am sitting with you guys.
Yeah, and listen, I hate.
He'll be back on Friday though to get a tattoo, but you never know what you're walking into. We try to plan ahead, but tonight just didn't work out, so it's going to take a little bit more.
So somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I'm thinking about this." Like as a tattoo artist, like from where does that idea translate, or what's like the path for it to be actually placed on the skin?
That varies.
Yeah.
I was gonna
That
say
depends on the customer and
how picky, because sometimes people think they're coming in, you're accommodating me, but you got some artists who are trying to tell you, hey, this is good, this is bad, and that's what I like about our group is we'll tell you if it's good or bad, whether, hey, don't do that, think about that. But some people are just, it all depends on the client and how they're talking, because sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I'm always an honest man. Clients will come in and think you need to do their exact vision, and sometimes that's just not possible.
or beneficial.
Or I've told a client before in the past, this isn't a good idea, this isn't gonna look good. I don't care, this is what I want. And I'm like, all right, I'm trying to help you down the long run.
Yeah.
I don't care about making a quick buck. I care about you coming out that door and living with work, any of us coming out with work that looks good years down the road. You don't want something that's gonna be a year good and then it just goes.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Is trying to put your vision combined with the customer's vision into a tattoo. So that's always going to be the biggest challenge. They see something in their head, and of course it's not going to be the same as mine, but
Yeah.
if you can meet halfway and give them an awesome tattoo, then that's what we're here for.
I also note piercing. You do piercing here as well?
We do not.
You do not? Okay. So this is you tattoo exclusively, right? What's and we're not going to finish up. I want to continue to talk a little bit longer. But what's the best place for people to connect with you artists in this shop? Is it 13 Keys Tattoos? Is it Facebook? Is it?
We do it all. There's
Okay.
social media. We don't have a website because it was never used. Social media usually runs it, and then we have all of our personal and shop contact info. So.
Gotcha. So for those who are watching, I mean, you may be new to kind of Tuesday at 7, and if you are, we gather on Tuesdays, right? And we just kind of talk with artists around Ohio. But if you share this video, we know it, and if you share it, next week you can have that opportunity for this drawing by Andy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sign. Yeah, and is that tattooed on anybody yet?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so this is an illustration of yours.
Yeah, this is completely, I sat down, I did this, I had gone to him, I said, what do you think of this idea? He would tell me all the time, what can make this better? What can I always do to make it better? And he's always been, thank you. So I kind of always go to him as kind of like my ghostwriter. He's my ghostwriter. I'll tell him, hey, what do you think? Change this up, do this, do that. Or he'll be like, good or bad, So no, that has not been tattooed. That was actually freshly created, what do you want to say, 2 weeks ago? 2-3 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Yeah, pretty fresh. It's pretty brand new. So
There's a lot of artwork on these walls. Is this some of your work, right? I mean, you guys.
It's all of ours and a lot of other artists as well. So when I opened, I definitely wanted a tattoo shop / gallery. So yeah, we have everybody from other tattoo artists to comic book artists.
We saw. Oh man, that is. I mean, all this work is.
Yeah, when I
Striking.
opened, yeah, we needed more artwork, and I didn't want just my own up. So,
Yeah.
and we're actually down right now. We need to make some more.
Are you make some more?
We sell a lot of art as well. So
Yeah, art has not been staying well in here because every time one of us make a print or a painting, you know, not even print, we do all original. It just right out the door.
Go right out the door.
Yeah, there used to be like right there in the center. We used to have those big paintings sitting there. They're all gone. They're sold. A lot of this stuff is just stuff that we can make around real quick. How quick can we, you know, just keep the shops full? You know,
Yeah.
artwork. A lot of it just keeps going out the door before it even gets in.
Yeah, yeah. Art, the art of inking skin, right? I mean, I don't have any. My daughters do, right?
what?
I know, and I shared with Danny the story about it, but our girls do, and the guys in our family don't. But I'm interested in the share with us just maybe the technical part of it, right? So like if you're tattooing somebody, right? It's important for, is it color? Is it depth that you're
That's important.
It's everything.
it's everything. So I mean, that's something an apprentice has to learn, right? It's,
Absolutely.
can you tell by the look on the face of the person that whether you're just at the right depth? I mean, it's painful, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They all hurt. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, when you're learning and apprenticing, those are all technical details that you learn along the way. How hard to press, how deep you're going. There's what needles, what you use, and what machine. There's a million different aspects to that. But yeah, apprentices, they learn for a long time before they start attacking customers. So.
I would say it's almost learned too, and when you first start getting in your first year, it almost seems like learn from your mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes, you're not gonna come in perfect. And anybody who thinks I'm gonna come in as the greatest, no, it's not possible, it's not doable, that's 1 in a million. It's a lot of hard work and dedication, I wanna say, of learning it. What would you say?
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's times, people will, later down the road, they're still gonna make errors. But it's, as that time progresses, you learn, how can you fix that error?
Yeah.
I had a little scraggly
Or
line.
how you avoid it.
How do you avoid it? Too? That too.
It's
How do you,
way easier not to make the mistake in the first place.
but if any tattoo artist said they never made a mistake, it would be a lie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lie.
That's true.
You learn over time, what can I do to correct
Yeah,
this
yeah.
mistake? Oh, this line's a little shifty, and people will be looking at that, everybody's watching that Ink Master show now. Well, I'm an Ink Master. No, a lot of people don't understand,
Yeah.
Every artist makes
Don't
these.
even get me started.
Yeah, I'm not. Breathe. How you shade off of it or how you almost hide it so where you never knew it happened.
Yeah.
Every artist makes that mistake, and any artist that says they don't, they're a liar. And I will be the first to say that.
And you start tattooing, I would imagine is it a synthetic skin, right? Is that how long does somebody work on a synthetic skin before they start to?
Until you feel that they're ready.
Yeah. Okay.
That's going to be my call. And as tattoo artists, we try to tattoo anything and everything.
Yeah.
Fruit, synthetic skin.
Pig skins from the Duma's meat mark.
We're not doing that.
No, we're not because it stinks, but I've seen it.
So for those folks that are exploring getting some some ink, what are some pieces of advice that you would give somebody, like where
Where do you start?
Where do you start? I mean, do you start at the nipple? Do you start at the rib? Do you start on the ring finger? Like, where do you start?
No, the first step is figuring out what you want.
Okay.
Step number 2 is finding the artist that you want. Do your homework. There's a million tattoo artists out there. Find the one you like the best.
How do you find that?
Research.
Research?
Many hours of research, I would say.
And the internet.
The internet's great.
Yeah, you can find anybody.
It's great.
Take a look at their work, right? Take a look at their work, their portfolio, their reviews, their...
Yeah, take it all in.
Yeah.
Yep. And step 3 is contacting the tattoo artist and doing it up. But that's always the first step. Find somebody that you want to get tattooed by. Might not be us, it might not be the guy over there, but do your homework. That's
Yeah.
the biggest part.
Tattooing has come a long way since my dad got a tattoo in Japan when he was in the Korean War. What are some of the... and I remember that tattoo was kind of greenish, and I was sharing with Andy that it had his first wife's name. My mom was not his first wife. My mom was his second wife. And he sanded it down with like a Dremel tool. That's how he removed it in 1960 something. But that's neither here nor there.
That's a whole different generation.
That's a whole different generation. So tell us. Okay, so I mean it's 2020. Like the color palette is amazing. You know, we're in a different space for tattoo. Tell us what, you know. You can do anything, right?
Pretty much.
Just about.
Nowadays, yes, everything is improved by 10,000-fold. The cleanliness, the colors, the techniques, even the equipment we use is nothing like back then. But, yeah, back then I'm sure it was a lot different.
A lot different. And for those that might say, yeah, you know, I got that flash tattoo, or you know, I did get a name there that, or I have a symbol there that I'm not proud of anymore. I mean, what happens for those folks that want to shift, you know?
Pray and hope you can cover it up.
All right, so it's cover up tattoo, right?
Cover up, or if it's too bad, you know, you want to laser it at that point. If it's too bad, we're an artist, you know, which most of us artists know, I'll touch it, or I won't touch it, or, oh, that's just out of my hands, man, I can't. It's too bad, it's too bulky, you know, the line's led too far out, too much packed in there.
Yeah, you can laser it, or we do cover-ups. I mean,
Cover-ups, yes.
nowadays, it's a lot different. But yeah, we can pretty much do whatever.
I'm usually one of
We
those.
can cover up anything.
Yeah, but we tend to be the ones, I want to say, like, we'll tell somebody, hey, that's not a good idea, or hey, that's a good idea. I had this incident 2 weeks ago. Don't get your lover's name tattooed on you guys. You guys have been together, 6 months. You guys will be getting that covered here in about 2 years. Don't do that. That's not a good move, It's never a good move. But, you never can talk people out of everything. You can only give them your best advice, and you say, I've seen this enough. And they're like, I don't care. They don't care. They don't listen.
Yeah.
Nobody listens.
So for those who are watching, and there's a lot of folks that are watching, thank you for joining us. Remember, if you hit that share button, you can share it out to your friends, to a group. You can share it out to specific people. We are at 13 Keys Tattoos, plural.
Yes.
And we're sitting down. And are you the 3 artists? Are there other artists that are also here? So you guys, the trifecta.
We are. So I opened this in January,
Okay.
so we're coming up on our first year anniversary. I opened by myself, worked here by myself for a few months. Andy decided to join, and then Kylie's been with us for a few months now too, so
Yeah.
yep, just us 3.
Cynthia, we see you out there. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot those out, and we'll respond to those. What I'll probably do too is also we'll tag Justin in here as well, so people are going to say, "Hey, I think I want somebody to get some ink on."
Sure.
We'll make sure that folks know how to get here and to have the information on the 3 of you to ask questions and maybe purchase some of your artwork as well. If somebody's looking for some custom work, right, and you guys do custom work here, they'd come in and say, I'm looking for a piece, whether it's maybe heritage work or a memorial tattoo or just whatever. If they step in here, right, it's going to take you some time, a down payment. Like what would somebody expect I mean, to say, listen, I'm serious. I'm a serious client here.
You want to take it or you want me?
Have at it. I gotta.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, you're going to talk to one of us. We're going to get a general description of what you want to get. We're going to get your personal info. We're going to try and pick each other's brains and figure out what you want, black and gray, color. Once, we'll get the best idea we can. Usually we draw something up. Might take a little while, but we do our best. And once we get all that together and we get a sketch or something put together for you, we usually require a deposit once we're ready to make the appointment. And once that's done, that's pretty much it.
So you're putting in hours before, likely, right?
Before tattoo time?
Before tattoo time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing we do is require a deposit for the actual appointment. Up until that point, we don't charge for drawing and designing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Everybody's different. All the shops are different, so you never
Yeah.
know. But
Got it. And as somebody, I would imagine you guys have gift certificates too, because we're coming up on the holidays and people are going to look to get their, yeah?
gift certificates are popular, especially around this time of the year. But yeah, we always run specials. I think right now it's for every 100 you get a free 25, and then we got a little pop-up sale this weekend that we'll do, and we'll give away a free 50 for every 100. But we just do that as we get closer to Christmas. But yeah, we do a lot of those.
You guys, I know I've got a couple friends who are tattoo artists, and they sometimes will talk about like a tap out session, like you buy a 5-hour package. And is that anything like, do you guys do anything like that?
Not really.
Not really. You're just like, listen, you'll just.
I don't really do tap outs. Hours are
Hours
on the
are
tattoo.
hours.
So, usually after a busy day, the customer and myself and the artist that's hard to judge on a tap out.
Yeah.
On big projects, we do usually set like an hourly rate. Smaller pieces, we could usually just quote off the bat and just a flat rate.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, we're wrapping up tonight. We're at 13 Keys Tattoos. We're in Brimfield. In case you're not familiar with that, I mean, we're not too far from Kent. I went to Kent, and so coming down here, I'm like, I think I might stop at Ray's and have a beer on the way home or something. I don't know, but I was very familiar because you're not too far from. This is 76 and 40.
We're at Talmadge Road in 43, but yeah, 76 is.
You're right there.
That way. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can get here from pretty much anywhere in kind of Cleveland, Greater Akron.
Yeah, we have a pretty good location. So, and the way Brimfield's going, it's blowing up. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, kind of finish up, and I'm gonna probably start with Kylie. I think we'll start with her. Right, a tattoo artist, right? There's probably some ink that is worth mentioning that you have, right? Whether it is I don't know what it is. What ink would you say is an important piece that tells us a little bit about you?
Well, your favorite tattoo?
Your favorite tattoo on yourself, or I mean, listen, I mean, there's no rules here, right? You can say it's not even on me. I tattooed my mom, right? Or I don't know. I mean, what's your favorite ink on yourself? I guess.
Okay. I think my favorite on myself, I have, it's like a rendition of the In Utero album cover, from, Nirvana. I flew to Colorado in October and got it done by an artist, Jimmy Calkins, in Denver. Yeah, that's my favorite piece as of now. Obviously, I love Nirvana. I adore Kurt as an artist, not only vocally, but and like the artwork that he did physically and stuff, paintings and things of that nature. And so, yeah, he's, I would say, sort of an inspiration. I just admire him, and so I got that. It's beautifully done, so it is technically and like meaningful. It's one of my favorite tattoos.
One of your favorite tattoos, and it's beautifully done too. It's beautifully done. All right, Andy, what about you? And you're probably covered from top to bottom. Are you going to do it? Are you going to tell us?
You want to see a funny story?
You can't show me your ass because we'll get banned. But outside of that, yes. All right.
It's not my butt, it's on my hip.
All right.
Don't show mine.
No, I'm not gonna.
Pick a different one.
I don't. Oh, I have so many.
Well,
You
that
can
see,
show it. You can just talk about
this
it.
is a great story. This is the right
All
question
right.
to end on.
No,
I think.
can't give that story. So I do have my mentor tattooed on my ass area. He is there. But one of my favorites, I can honestly say, is this that's going in works right now. We're about 4 years in now.
We're talking some serious.
And this was done by Justin here. And that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. How long does an entire back? I mean, that's obviously that's.
We've been working on it a few years, and it's just a little bit here and there. As we go
Oh,
through it.
we can
We
recognize some of these. All of these.
Yeah, we're getting there. Another 10 years, we'll be done.
I just hate sitting. It
Yeah.
hurts.
Well, you're dropping stuff, Andy.
Am I dropping my gauges? Oh, I lost my gauges.
I'm not touching it.
Don't touch
Hey, and by the way, we have to thank who was it that connected us? It was Robert, right?
Robert Blank.
Yeah, Robert. So thank you for connecting us with these artists. We appreciate it. All right, we're going to finish up the interview, Justin, with that the same question to you. What is your more meaningful tattoo?
I have a lot of tattoos with meaning, and I have even more with no meaning,
Okay.
just because I think that they're funny. But I'll show one.
Yeah, do it.
I'll shout out Jake. So one day he asked me, let's do a tattoo. What do you like? And I said skulls and tacos. So I have a taco skull. It's pretty awesome. And that's the wrong way. Hold on. Taco and skull.
Oh my gosh.
The best of both worlds, right? There's an all-seeing eye pizza back there too, but that's besides the point.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We have a lot of tattoos. That's hard to pick.
Yeah.
And if you want to skull taco or taco skull, then you know some right people to get that done and design it.
Probably work that out for you.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys sharing us your stories, kind of your inspiration. We appreciate you opening up your shop here tonight. Thank you, Kylie, Annie, Justin, and we're at 13 Keys Tattoos, and so we'll make sure that you guys have these things. Thank you for joining us this Tuesday. We'll catch up soon.
Appreciate it.